Universal's been knocking it out of the park as of late, so you know what that means. Time to nitpick.
Hanging with Stitcher, chocolate bar, Kev Casey's alive. Buffy with Bernard, Squishy with Bar, Kev Casey's alive. Kev Casey's alive, yeah.
What's up? It's Kev Cage. Good seeing ya. If you're a nerd like me who reads theme park news every day, then it's no secret that Universal has stepped it up like whoa recently.
From smaller scale projects like Universal Kids in Texas and Horror Unleashed in Vegas, to international expansion like the Universal UK project, and of course to the brand new park opening in Orlando next year, Epic Universe. It's an amazing time to be a fan of this stuff. While some competitors are dragging their feet and cutting costs left and right, Universal is seemingly doing the opposite, going full speed ahead with lots of new, high-quality projects.
It's all great news, and I'm super excited for it, even if I'll never step foot inside any The Horror Nights sort of thing. I hate being startled.
But if Universal truly wants to take the crown from Disney, the incredible theming, top-tier innovation, and completely immersive experiences are just part of the story. It's the small stuff and some of the logistics that make your time in the park a world-class experience. It's really the thing that set Disney apart for decades, a reliably hassle-free day.
Since then, Disney has bogged things down with reservations and Lightning Lane and
Paying for rice and beans that used to be free. But this is where Universal really has a shot. If they can get these things right, they can build an entirely new reputation as the destination for people of all ages. And I say all ages because the family distinction is important here. I'm not talking about adding more kiddie rides or anything like that, but making small changes to help ease the challenges of adults who choose to travel with kids. That's going to let families know you're serious.
And families are important because it's not just about this moment in time, it's about building for the future.
And let's be honest, a lot, not all, but a lot of our love for these places is based on nostalgia. It's why Disney is still coasting on attractions and parks built decades ago. If Universal can offer a more affordable, less annoying experience, parents will take their kids more often. And when those kids grow up, they're going to have amazing memories of getting coins in Epic Universe, instead of sitting through 3 pre-ride rooms at Cosmic Rewind. And they're going to choose a Universal trip when they're old enough to buy tickets. Now, I'm based in Hollywood, so that's what we're going to be literally looking at since I'm here, but having been to Universal Studios Orlando a few months ago, I think most of these policies are in play there too. If they're not, feel free to correct me in the comments. I get things wrong all the time.
So without further ado, here's the top 5 little things that Universal can change to prove that they're serious about being the major player in themed entertainment.
Number 5.
Coming in at number 5, I know I said this is going to be for both Hollywood and Orlando, but we're talking about a thing that's strictly Hollywood right here. Fix the globe. See that globe right there? It's awesome. Wouldn't it be more awesome if it was spinning?
I'm not going to pretend to know anything about engineering or how anything of any kind works, but how complicated could it be to get that thing spinning again? It hasn't spun in like, I don't know, 4 years now?
And it's the first thing you see when you go through security. Literally, it's your first impression of the big moment. Wow, we're here at Universal. Awesome. And it's just sitting still. Come on, fix that. And while you're at it, can you touch up this sign too? The sun has not been kind to these poor Transformers.
4.
All right, at number 4, we've got another thing that's not a big deal, but kind of annoying. Ride photos. Who doesn't love a good ride photo? It's a hallmark of getting off a ride. Now, it used to be back in the day, the only way that you could get a ride photo was by paying for it. But then everybody got a cell phone with a camera in it. So you could just walk up to the area where all the pictures were, take your phone out, bloop, and you've got a perfectly good, low-res quality picture that you could keep forever. Well, of course, the park started realizing you can't charge people for photos when they're taking pictures of it, so they started blocking out the photos on top. The only way to see it was by talking to somebody at the desk who would pull it up on a tiny screen that's in front of you. Now, amazingly, the Walt Disney Company, notorious for pinching pennies and exploiting guests at every turn, they actually have all the pictures from the ride right when you get off. Go ahead, snap a photo. They don't care. If you want a better quality one, you could pay for it, but the option to have a kind of not as great one is still available to you. Universal hasn't figured that out. They're still in the mindset that you shan't be able to take low quality pictures of your photo from the ride. Well, this is a problem in two ways. One, it's annoying. Most people don't care about the quality. And look, if you're posting a picture online about all the fun that you're having on a ride, that's a great thing for the company. They should want you to share these ride photos. It's great business for them. You post a picture online and everybody knows how much fun you were having at Universal Studios that day. But the other problem is that if you do want the photo, it takes forever because now you have to wait in a line. You have to wait at this kiosk. And if there's a lot of people that want to go, it's just clunky and it takes a long time. So Universal, I implore you, free the ride photos. All right, coming in at number 3, we have getting into the park, both the security system and scanning your ticket to actually get inside. I've been told that maybe this is a union thing because they need to have bodies there to be looking through the luggage, but if you take a look at this, it's like airport security. You gotta stick stuff in bins. It's 2024. Haven't we figured out a better way than this? There's other parks here in California, smaller ones like Magic Mountain and even Knott's, where you just kind of walk in. Surely there's some degree of safety there. They're not just letting everybody go. But a better policy and a better system, whatever the cost, just seems worth it. It's not too crowded today, so it doesn't look that bad. But on a really busy day, it is brutal trying to get in. We tried to use the early access in Orlando. When you're staying at the hotel, you can get into the park early. But when we got to the gate, it was probably about 30 minutes just to get inside. They use that finger scan technology, which is pretty clunky, just to get inside. Anything that makes you wait a second longer than you have to, especially when you're waiting with little kids, isn't a great way to start your day.
Number 2.
At number 2, we've got the paid locker system. Now, I'm not talking about the ones in the beginning of the park. That's cool. You want to store your stuff for the whole day. I get it. It's not a daycare, right? You got to pay for your bag to put it somewhere. But the thing that bugs me is the ones at the ride. As you'll see here, they have the small lockers that are free. You want to put your phone in there? Sure, great. That's free. But the big ones, you have to pay $5. If you're traveling with a family, especially with little kids, you need your bag on you at all times. You got to carry water, sunscreen, toys, blankets. It's nonstop. You need it with you. Down the street, even the big rides that they have, like the Incredicoaster or Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout, you can bring your bags on them. I understand that sometimes these cooler or more interesting rides don't have the capacity to keep a backpack on you with it. But if you've designed a ride that is for a family that can't fit a bag, you really shouldn't be charging people to have to bring it with you. It's a small thing, but it's discouraging to families and makes it feel like you're getting taken advantage of. I understand that these places are in the business of making money, but those are costs you can easily roll into other things without having people feel like they have to stop and keep coughing up extra dough anytime they need to do something that's kind of mandatory. I will say they did a really nice job putting that locker area together. It looks very themed, and you probably would miss it if you were just walking by. Just as I was leaving that little locker area, I heard someone complaining under their breath, they bang you for everything that you do here. It's true. It's a locker. Sometimes you need to have a bag with you. If you can't bring your bag on the ride, make it free. Come on.
1.
And finally, coming in at number 1, the small thing to fix that would make the experience so much better: 1 drink per ID. And listen, I know what you're thinking, but this isn't about double fisting. It's about convenience, I promise. When you're traveling with kids, you can't always break away from the group. Sometimes mom or dad are busy changing diapers and the other person has to scoot away to get some much needed booze to make it through the day. When you can only get 1 per ID, you're forcing both parents to have to go at the same time. When it's not always practical, it really makes a big mess of a thing. Knott's doesn't seem to have that rule. Disney certainly doesn't do it. I guess you can argue that maybe there are more kids here, so they're trying to prevent underage drinking, which, listen, I completely understand. But if Disney could do it, certainly Universal could do it, right? I'm not at all trying to encourage irresponsible drinking, but what I am trying to encourage is parents being able to make it through a very hot and sometimes very grueling day. So open it up, make it a 2 drink per ID limit, and save the other parents everywhere around the country. But what do you think? With a couple of months left till Epic Universe opens, this is our chance. We can really affect some change. So drop down in the comments below what you think Universal is doing that maybe they could do a little bit better. Again, I know these are nits. It's not the end of the world. but when you make these things right, it creates an unbelievable experience. Put it all together, and that's world-class service that you can't get anywhere else. Thanks for watching. I'm excited to hear what you think. And as always, if you're lucky enough to be at Universal Studios, sorry, I'm walking up the stairs. You're lucky enough. See you next time.